Hello, everybody. It's Nicky here at Yoga Marlborough, coming to you with some tips of inspiration from the top of the South Island, New Zealand. And today I'm really lucky to have with me the wonderful Carmena Su. So Carmena is a yoga teacher, a strength trainer, and a functional core trainer. She's based here in Blenheim in Marlborough. And Carmena's really committed to and believes in enhancing the life force that is in each and every one of us. And she has a YouTube channel called Strength Karma, and it's all about building yourself from the inside out. And so today, Carmena is going to share some thoughts from her experience and some ways to give you some ideas that might be helpful for you. And Carmena, how are you? How's your lockdown going?
Hey, Nicky, that's so great to be here. My lockdown is actually going well. In all disclosure, I think the novelty of the first lockdown which we had last year, was really, it made it much more exciting. This lockdown is like, I'm eagerly looking forward to being able to see my clients again in person. Yes. And all that kind of thing. But all things aside, it's actually going fairly well. I mean, it's actually going really well because I've never felt better in years. And Nicky, I'm so glad that we are talking today, because one of the big pieces of that is getting on HRT, or hormone replacement therapy, which is something I never would have considered before. It would have been, in fact, a little bit of a taboo. This is my husband, James.
Hi, James. Nice to see you.
James is going to share some wisdom as well. But basically, I had no idea about hormone replacement therapy, and very quickly for you guys, if you Google it, you're thinking, oh my gosh, a lot of the information there is negative, and it doesn't apply to. You might not think it applies to you yet because maybe you still get periods. Maybe you're not having hot flashes and all that kind of stuff. I still actually do have my periods still, like I haven't stopped, but I have in what's called perimenopause, which is a couple of years before, which is actually up to 10 years before your periods stop. And for a lot of women, I wasn't aware of this at all, but it can show up as fatigue, brain fog, not being able to sleep properly, anxiety, muscle aches, and things like that. So those are the things that people don't normally associate with having declining estrogen levels. And so I was lucky enough to have a really close friend who was on HRT, and she also had educated herself about it. She was having a really positive experience with it. When I was starting to share with her, I don't think my brain is operating the way it used to before. Like, I was being really forgetful and just not being very present. And I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm a meditator. What's going on, right? Yeah. And also take care of my health. So I had no idea, but it could have been my estrogen levels dropping. So anyway, I educated myself about it, which is what whoever's watching this, I encourage you guys to do the same. If you are feeling that you're not quite like being yourself and you're in your maybe early 40s or even late 30s, it can happen anytime, really.
I think too, with the lockdown and all the stresses, people might not know where the stress is, where the symptoms are coming from, so they might miss it. Yeah.
That's exactly right, Nicky. I mean, a lot of us, because us women, we have to be really strong, and especially in the Kiwi culture, we're sort of taught just to suck it up, just get through it. And that's, I think that's actually a very wrong way of thinking now. When I feel more, when I've learned so much more about it, there's actually things that with HRT, there's with our underlying health conditions, like it can help us protect against osteoporosis, dementia, and heart disease, which are rife in us women after the age of the menopause. Yeah. So, and that's because we don't have the protective effects of estrogen in our bodies. So you don't even have to have like debilitating symptoms. I think for myself, it was a good idea for me to get onto it because I just wanted to protect myself against those long-term degenerative conditions that we are prone to as we get older.
Okay, so maybe too, Carmena, when I share the email, maybe I can share if you have any sort of suggestions of where people could find out about that.
I'll share some links around it. Yeah. Absolutely, Nicky. Yeah. Fantastic. So there's that. So if you're finding that you're not feeling like yourself, and you're already a healthy living person, you're already like doing a lot of yoga, like you may be taking care with your diet and all that kind of stuff, just know that there could be something else going on. And get educated about HRT if you're in that age group. So there's that. I know that James has some word. If you want to introduce James too, Nicky?
Yes. So James, are you going to hop on and say hello? So James Wvinner is another one of our wonderful yoga teachers here in Marlborough, and also offering some classes, I think, on Zoom as well. Are you, James?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, so you can check out what we're offering on our Yoga with James and Carmena Facebook page. We'll post on there. We're having classes.
Wonderful.
It's so
Anything else?
funny teaching online and not being able to reach out and touch people. Yeah. Actually
Yeah.
see if they're doing what we're suggesting.
What have you found the most challenging about teaching online? Like what's good and what's maybe not so good for you?
Well, you have to do everything.
You mean to demonstrate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't walk around, you can't adjust somebody. It's like, and you have to talk at the same time. And so some of my series are, you know, they're strong, you're supposed to breathe, and I start talking, and it's like, you know, it's really, I've started doing the Wim Hof breathing, you know, the Iceman.
Yes.
He has a free breath on there, and you really increase your capacity. And so I've been doing that. I find that I'm not feeling like I'm just talking until I'm like,
yeah.
you know,
I found for me too, it's a little bit more, it's definitely more tiring, teaching on Zoom.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I love that the students like it. I mean, when we taught for free, we had a whole bunch of people. And then as soon as you go online and, you know, I think that like our students want to pay. It's just, there's a lot of people that are riding the free yoga wagon, and that's cool too. I mean,
yeah. And I think
I just
not everyone's
just tell it. I don't know about you, but I prefer people just said, hey, we need a scholarship, or we'd like a scholarship. It's the pandemic. I don't care if they're in New Guinea and I'll never see them. It would just be nice that, you know, just to go through that connection.
Yes, I think that's part of why I got sort of this idea as well. I just to let people know, hey, we're all out there. We're not seeing you maybe right now, but we're here. Like, reach out, make contact. Let us know if you need help, if you need support. You know, it's just nice to see people's
tell us
faces.
what you're doing. You know, like we had a student, like his wife's busting her handstand against the wall since during the pandemic. She was a little rocky before. And so it's really nice to hear that feedback too. Like, because I'm a firm believer in the 10-a-day rule. If you practice yoga 10 minutes a day, at the end of the year, it's like 3,650 minutes. That's 3 weeks of work. I mean, that's a big change in anything. So I'm happy
a good way.
do that little bit and tell us, because I'm always preaching about it.
That might inspire some people to realize that, you know, it's not always about how much you do, it's about the consistency, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
I
exactly
agree
it.
with consistency.
Yeah.
And just allowing yourself that little, sometimes you know, just stepping over that line and doing a little. You know, there's like something that keeps people back. The same thing that keeps us on the mat keeps some people off the mat, whatever that is. And you just need to cross that barrier. And
sometimes we do need that. You know, we do need someone to motivate us sometimes, or to hold our hand and maybe build the habit. Yeah.
Well, we all need each other in this. You know, whether you're a student, if you're a teacher, you're always a student, and you know, you're kind of. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's nice for teachers too to be able to attend another class and have another teacher give us the space to relax and to not have to talk and do and think, you know, just to let go.
I need to go out and do more classes myself. We were fortunate. We had an Auckland yoga teacher visiting us, and just all the poses, and he's kind of, you know, like younger, and you know, it was really inspiring again. Maybe you know.
Yeah. That was really great. It was just nice to have a different sort of energy, and not to have to be putting out all the time, but also to be able to observe and to be able to follow. I think that's what we all want to do sometimes, is just follow somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
I think sometimes when we teach, we are, right? You just get on that pilot where you just all of a sudden know what yoga you should be doing and they should be doing, and for a moment. Yeah.
I think it's I've found a lot of people are also using Zoom during the day in their work, so sometimes they're sort of a little reluctant. So the idea with this series is just sending out that little bite-sized piece every day with a little bit of inspiration, see our faces, and maybe connect with some different people, and know that there are some people teaching out there or offering stuff during the lockdown as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Carmena will share also obviously your YouTube channel on that as well, because I know even personally that strength stuff's so important, because you know, for me, I've been also following some of Carmena's teachings.
Oh, great.
Yes, Nicky's a beta tester.
Oh, great. Well, I do a lot of the work that she does, and it keeps me healthy for yoga.
But it's so important, even just for sitting, you know, to have the
Mm.
core strength, to be able to sit,
Yep.
to breathe, to meditate, to not get sore, you know, or
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yes, that's right. Not stiff.
Um,
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm still a very much in the beginner level, but I'm really appreciating it and
Oh,
learning a lot.
Alice's are looking really good, Nikki, is when I saw last time. I'm looking pretty
Yeah,
damn
and
good.
being a yogi, you have such a great platform to feel all the good stuff. Like, you know how to extend, you know how to get into poses, and you know, to get that core stuff going, you'll feel it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a big improvement for me. I know it's gonna help a lot. Well, just so great to catch up with you guys
Yeah,
today.
nice to see
Yeah,
you.
good to see you too,
Nice to
Nikki.
see you,
Yeah.
and I'm going to yeah, definitely share your contact information. Hopefully a few of the watchers today might reach out and connect and get some support from you. I'd really love to say thank you for your time,
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
really.
for a great idea.
and just so lovely to see your faces.
Okay,
I'll
thanks. See you later.
catch up soon.
Namaste. Namago.
See you, Nikki.